The Dallas Cowboys are a better team than they were a season ago, and that's important. However, after struggling a bit last season, despite Dak Prescott going down, it's tough to see a scenario where the Cowboys are true Super Bowl contenders. Perhaps they have a good enough roster to compete in the loaded NFC, and if things go well, anything is possible, but the Cowboys aren't exactly the favorites to win it all, and everybody seems to understand that. If there's one area the team needs to improve, it's at the running back position. The Cowboys' running back room is one of the more below average in the NFL, and that's a problem. Even with an improved offense around the below-average running back room, the Cowboys might find a lack of success because of their inability to run the football at a high level. That's why in a trade idea from Bleacher Report, they'd land Najee Harris, who recently signed a one-year, $5.25 million deal with the Los Angeles Chargers. Harris is coming off a season in which he rushed for 1,043 yards and 6 touchdowns for the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he spent the first 4 years of his career. Teams in need of running back help would at least be wise to call about Harris's availability. While he was never a high-level starter with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was a dependable high-volume back who topped 1,000 rushing yards in all 4 campaigns. Dallas should consider adding Harris as a high-floor option in its backfield. The Steelers may actually want to consider bringing back the 27-year-old now they have their quarterback in Rodgers, BR wrote. Are the Cowboys in a position to make a trade? Despite the question marks about the Dallas Cowboys running back room, it was reported by Athlon Sports that the team doesn't believe they have to make a trade at the position. According to Athlon, the Cowboys are content with what they have, and any trade at this point doesn't make sense from their perspective. The Cowboys feel set at running back and likely won't even contemplate a move at any position until they see the lay of the land with what they have. It is Sanders and Williams. And any proposed move for another back right now simply doesn't make any sense, at least from a Dallas perspective, Adam Schultz wrote. Are the Cowboys set at running back already? Heading into training camp, despite reports from Athlon that the Dallas Cowboys aren't interested in adding another running back, the position remains uncertain. According to Cowboys Wire's Mike Crum, the Cowboys running back situation will be the top position group to watch in training camp, adding that there isn't much financial commitment on the position. Dallas Cowboys training camp is going to be filled with battles for the last spots at multiple positions, but running back could be the toughest of all to figure out. The Cowboys have turned over almost all of the players at the position from last season, starting fresh with a mix of different options. The Cowboys haven't invested much in the position financially, around $8 million, which means there isn't much holding them back from an open competition. In years past, money has played a role in who saw snaps, but that won't likely be the case in 2025, he wrote. Regardless of whether the Cowboys add a player like Harris or not remains to be seen, but there are plenty of question marks at running back heading into the year. Now that Aaron Rodgers has all but confirmed that 2025 will be his 21st and final NFL season, parallels between his current and former teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Jets, are only heightened. That's the case Rich Eisen made reacting to Rodgers' interview on the Pat McAfee Show Tuesday, saying he was pretty sure he'll retire no matter how his season in Pittsburgh goes. It does absolutely color the sense of how this is going to work in Pittsburgh, Eisen said of the news of Rodgers' retirement plan. Who is better, DK Metcalf or Garrett Wilson / Devontae Adams? Who is better, Jalen Warren, the rookie, Caleb Johnson, or Breece Hall? Who would you rather have offensively? Last year didn't work out for Rodgers and the Jets. Though not determinative of the entire season, there will be an immediate reaction based on how the teams open their seasons. Pittsburgh and New York square off in Week 1, a game placed at the top by the NFL schedule makers under the belief and hope Rodgers would sign with the Steelers. Even in a 1 p.m./ET time slot, it's one of the most intriguing matchups to begin the season, especially with ex-Steelers QB Justin Fields on the other sideline. Rodgers is partially playing because of how 2024 ended. A brutally difficult season that saw New York win just 5 games with its coaching staff and front office wiped out during or after the season. Rodgers was quickly cut by the new regime, a short meeting he ripped the organization for during a prior appearance on McAfee's show. The comparisons will be easy. Can Pittsburgh offer a stronger supporting cast? The wide receiver room is missing an established secondary wide receiver after dealing George Pickens. But there's a deep tight end group and the hope that Calvin Austin III and Roman Wilson can combine forces to offer a talented enough group for Rodgers. Even if the Jets' supporting cast was, or is, better, Eisen thinks a stronger infrastructure gives the Steelers the edge. "You will not have the head coach fired after Week 5, he said. "You will not have an offensive coordinator chosen by Rodgers who clearly couldn't figure out how to make it work, didn't get the time to make it work. You won't have a threat of being benched from Art Rooney, too, before firing Mike Tomlin." Eisen's referring to events that transpired in New York a year ago. Reportedly, Jets owner Woody Johnson told then head coach Robert Saleh to bench Aaron Rodgers after the team's slow start. That never happened, but Saleh was fired shortly after. Under interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich, offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett was stripped of play-calling duties. Pittsburgh will offer far more stability with a head coach and offensive coordinator who will see the year through no matter the circumstances. "It's a totally different set of circumstances walking into Pittsburgh than what he walked into New York," Eisen said. "It's a low bar to ask and expect Rodgers to better his results in 2025. Pittsburgh hasn't won only 5 games since 1988. The question will be if Rodgers and the Steelers can make noise in the playoffs, and if they can finish better than the Jets, who have their own wild card aspirations." The Pittsburgh Steelers have been centered around trade rumors for the better part of the entire offseason. Most recently, Pittsburgh and the Miami Dolphins have been hovering around hitting send on multiple trades. For starters, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that the Steelers and Dolphins were discussing a trade for tight end Jonnu Smith. Smith is coming off a career year, catching 88 passes and earning a Pro Bowl nod. The bigger name the Steelers have been connected to, though, is former All-Pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey. The Ramsey rumors began with the infamous X-account Ricky, who is an anonymous user with a dog profile picture that has gotten ahead of several scoops, including being the first to report that George Pickens was being traded in a cryptic tweet. Schefter discussed the possibility of a trade involving Ramsey and the Steelers on Tuesday during an appearance on ESPN Radio. "I think Pittsburgh checked in," Schefter said via Alan Saunders of Steelers Now. "If I had to guess, I would say Pittsburgh would not be the likely destination. While nothing is confirmed and Ramsey's future is up in the air, it doesn't look like he is going to be a Steeler. Ramsey is a 3-time first-team All-Pro selection and a 7-time Pro Bowler with 24 career interceptions. The fit may be a question to many fans, as the Steelers already have Joey Porter and Darius Slay to play on the boundary, but Ramsey could slot in as the nickel cornerback, similar to what the Baltimore Ravens did with Marlon Humphrey in 2024, which led to Humphrey having an All-Pro season. Again, nothing is finalized at the moment, but it does look less likely that Ramsey will don the black and gold in 2025, at least according to Schefter.